Welcome. This is Trillium from Trillium Healing Arts. I'm a emotion coach, a Reiki, and a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner. And I'm going to be showing you guys and talking to you about how I quantum shifted my reality. So I want to talk to you about where I was a few months ago. My credit cards were completely maxed out. I was tired. All I was doing was felt like I was treading water. I was working, busting my ass, just staying afloat. I had everything I needed, but I felt like I was never really getting ahead. It just felt like I was chipping away, and I didn't see any end in sight. And so, through my journey working with the emotion code, I'd been removing layers and layers of emotions, failure, unworthiness, all these things that kept me at a low vibrational state, blocked and limited. And then I was activated for Reiki. And the best thing Reiki did for me was unblock my energy centers or my chakra. It really helped me open up my channels for intuiting messages and in channeling more methods to be able to do deeper healing and more profound healing. So I channeled these different healing modalities that I'm going to be writing about starting in February. I was instructed that right now I'm just supposed to finish out this little cycle with my work and do a little bit more research. I have a few more books to read and more healing to do, and then I'll be able to bring this work into the next chapter. And also, my landlady had passed, and I have to thank her so much. She is like a Pisces Robin Hood, and I explain in my other videos. So if you get what I'm saying, check back my other videos on what I mean by this. So she left me the ability to stay at my studio for potentially the rest of my life. Um, and all I would have to do is basically pay utilities and, we'll see where it goes. So I had been really manifesting being in a place where I could focus on being creative, being more artistic. I wanted to start honing my artistic abilities, potentially taking acting lessons also. And I have an idea for this vegan activist little production that I want to put on, which is really racy and edgy. So stay tuned for that. It's in the incubation phases. I'm conceptualizing it, and I will let on more once it's closer to production. But I'm looking for a vegan videographer. If you happen to see this, I'm very much looking for vegan photographers and videographers for this project that I'm going to be doing with my company, Vegan Vixens, my brand. Um, so, once I started channeling these messages on how to quantum shift, and I also work with Neville Goddard's Law of Assumption. So I've been integrating Law of Assumption, removing my blocks, removing my contracts, assuming the reality I want. And the reality I wanted was to be able to be, you know, a place in more financial freedom so that I can travel again and so that I can just do what I want and be more creative and not be so much in the grind and enjoy my life. Um, and so, since I've been doing the inner healing, I made the decision to project into the reality where this is possible. You know, you can, the human mind, it wants us to struggle and toil and work hard, but the reality is, you can just make the decision to quantum shift. And I got to the point where I just got fed up. And that's usually what happens when you're working for an employer and you're ready to be an entrepreneur. You're there until you just get fed up and you're like, I'm just going to take the leap. And that's what I did. And my guides are telling me this is true. We don't have to work hard. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to be in pain. All we need to do is shift everything within us energetically, our deep beliefs, removing layers of trauma and blocks and negative emotions so that we can be in an elevated frequency in order to magnetize the reality we desire and align with the reality we desire. It's all about alignment. Um, so it's like, let's make a little analogy. All right. You want to swim in a gorgeous pool that you have in your backyard, but it still has all this gunk and algae and leaves in the bottom. And until you remove all the gunk and algae and leaves in the bottom, it's not going to be this beautiful, pristine pool that it can be, which you envision. So once you clean out all the debris, you add the beautiful sea salt or whatever it is to keep the quinine to keep it wonderful and swimmable, and then you can have your glistening dream pool. But until you remove all the gunk, you're not going to be able to achieve that dream pool. Um, so this is what I've been doing, and it's a process. I understand it's a lifelong process, but I made two quantum jumps with one being able to be in a place of giving and receiving love. I had many, many blocks that I had been working through slowly, but I just decided I was going to do it. And luckily, I have the tools now because it would have been really devastating to have gone through all of that without the necessary tools on neutralizing and processing um, the energetic emotions. I work with Ascended Master Jesus, and I like to invoke the Holy Spirit to neutralize negative energies so that we don't have to re experience them, which can be the really hard thing of shadow work. So it's miraculous. Um, but it is good to be aware and bring attention, sometimes to what it is. And I made a huge quantum jump just, it was either yesterday or the day before. I finally decided that I wanted to completely forgive my mother for everything in every life in every direction. And so they say our caretakers are just put here to teach us lessons, so we can evolve and learn. And, our pain is our portal, our wound is where the light comes in. And so I sat and I did over 100 something, and I've been doing hundreds and hundreds of clearings on myself. But I just decided I wanted it to be done. I was ready to completely let go and completely forgive my mother. So I did the invocation of clearing it, and I did. And, I can see from a new perspective now that even though at times if she was misguided with her decisions, she did the best she could from her position. And now I've shifted into a reality where, so I had always felt so down about myself that I'd never gone to school as a young adult. I kind of spent my 20s just partying and traveling with no responsibilities and not really doing anything too productive. Um, I felt like I was just kind of stuck. And so I've been trying to make up with it for it lately. And I started going to back to school as an adult. So I maybe almost, a little bit away from my associates. Um, but something amazing happened. So my mother qualified. She was a vet for in the Navy for 100% medical disability. That means that I will be able to potentially have my education paid for, and that takes a huge burden off of me. So in the last few months, I went from just living from paycheck to paycheck, exhausted from the rat race. Um, I thought I wasn't making progress. Wasn't going out. I wasn't engaging with outside worlds or even, trying to date. I was just in this deep, deep place of doing inner work and hard inner shifts. And, I was trying to trust in the process that this would pay off long term. And finally, when I got to a point where I had enough momentum, I was able just to shift my realities. And now I'm in a place where I have a place where I live in a very affluent, beautiful paradise. My education will be potentially paid for me. I'm in a place where I can travel now and be more creative and all the things I want. And so if you're curious, reach out to me. I'm a quantum healing hypnosis practitioner. I'd be happy to support your journey as well. Sending you love and light. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm so grateful for you tuning in.